I am sitting on the couch right now, and it is exactly 6 months since my boyfriend touched me. Not just sex, I mean anything. He does not hug me. He does not kiss my forehead. He does not put his hand on my back when we walk through a door. He sleeps on the very edge of his side of the bed and I sleep on mine, and there is a cold space between us that feels like a different country. My name is Maya. I am 29 years old. I work at a dentist office as a receptionist. Jake, my boyfriend, is 31. He works in construction. We have been together for 4 years. We lived together for 3. Or we did until last Tuesday when he moved his things into his friend's spare room. He says he needs space to think. He says this very quietly, like he is talking to a child who might start screaming. All our friends think I broke him. They think I am the bad guy. Even my own sister told me on the phone last night, Maya, you got what you asked for. You cannot be surprised. I told her she does not understand. I told her it is not what I asked for at all, but she just sighed that means she is tired of me. This is how it got so bad. This is why I am the villain in a story I thought I was writing to protect myself. In the beginning, Jake was perfect. That is the hard part to say now. He was so good. He gave me flowers for no reason. He cooked dinner 3 times a week. He remembered how I take my coffee and brought it to me on Saturday mornings while I was still in bed. He looked at me like I was the answer to a question he had been asking his whole life. He also wanted me. A lot. At first, this felt amazing. I would come home from work and he would look up from his phone, and his eyes would do this thing where they went soft and hungry at the same time. He would stand up and walk over and kiss me like he had been waiting all day just to do that. He would touch my waist when I passed him in the kitchen. He would grab my butt when I was brushing my teeth. He would whisper things at night that made me blush. For the first year I loved it. I felt powerful. I felt wanted. My friends were jealous. Sarah, my best friend since high school, would say, "Girl, you got yourself a man who actually desires you. Do you know how rare that is?" I would laugh and say I knew. I would say I was lucky. But then something changed. Not in Jake, in me. It started small. I got a new boss at work, Dr. Chen. He was always watching me, not in a sexual way, just watching. He would stand near my desk and stare at my computer screen while I scheduled appointments. He would ask me to repeat things 3 times. He would correct how I filed papers. I started to feel like my body was not my own. Like I was being looked at all the time, even when I was just sitting there doing nothing wrong. I started to notice Jake's eyes more. I started to notice how often they were on me. I would be cooking and I would feel his gaze on my back. I would be reading and I would look up and he would be staring at my legs. I would be getting dressed and he would lean against the doorway watching me, and what used to feel like adoration started to feel like surveillance. I tried to ignore it. I told myself this was my problem, not his. He was the same man. I was the one who changed. Then came the night at his friend's wedding. We were dancing. He kept pulling me close. He kept kissing my neck. He kept whispering about how good I looked in my dress. Other people were there. His parents were there. I could feel his mother watching us. I could feel everyone watching us. And all I could think was, does he have to make it so obvious that he wants to sleep with me? Can he not just dance like a normal person? We got home and I told him I was tired. He tried to kiss me in the kitchen. I turned my head. He stopped. He looked confused. He said, "Everything okay?" I said, "Yeah, just tired," but I was not tired. I was angry. I was angry that he could not read the room. I was angry that his need for me was so loud. That night I lay in bed and I could feel him wanting to touch me. I could feel it in the air between us. He did not touch me. He just lay there, still and careful. And I hated him for being careful. I hated him for making me feel like a monster for not wanting him to want me. The next morning he made pancakes. He put them on the table with a smile. He kissed my hair as he walked past. I flinched. I did not mean to flinch, but I did. He saw it. He stopped moving. He said, "Maya," like he was asking a question he did not want to know the answer to. I said, "I'm sorry, I'm just stressed." He nodded. He did not kiss my hair again. For the next month I started keeping track. This is embarrassing to admit, but I did. I had a notebook in my purse. I would write down every time he touched me. Every time he looked at me too long. Every time he made a comment about my body. I was trying to prove to myself that I was not crazy, that it was real, that he really was doing it too much. The list grew fast. Monday grabbed my waist while I was washing dishes. Tuesday said my jeans looked tight in a good way. Wednesday tried to initiate sex while I was reading. Thursday complimented my chest. Friday smacked my butt when I was making coffee. It was like this every week. I started to hate the notebook. I started to hate the proof, but I could not stop collecting it. I told Sarah about the notebook. She looked at me strange. She said, "Maya, he is your boyfriend. He is supposed to want you." I said, "But not like this, not all the time, not like I am just a body for him to look at." She did not say anything for a long time, then she said maybe talk to him. I did not want to talk to him, I wanted him to just know. I wanted him to feel what I was feeling and fix it without me having to say it out loud. That felt like the whole point. If I had to tell him to stop wanting me so much, then he was only stopping because I told him to, not because he actually respected me. But after 6 weeks of writing in the notebook, I cracked. It was a Sunday. We were watching a movie. He had his hand on my thigh, not moving, just resting there, and I could not concentrate on the movie. All I could think about was the hand, the weight of it, the claim it was making. My skin felt like it was burning. I stood up, I said, I need water. I went to the kitchen, he followed me. He stood behind me and put his hands on my shoulders. He kissed my neck. He said, I love you. I pulled away. I turned around. The words came out before I could stop them. Jake, do you even see me? Or do you just see a body you can touch whenever you want? His face. God, his face. It was like I slapped him. He stepped back. He said what I said, I feel like you sexualize me too much. I feel like you are always looking at me, always touching me. I am not just here for you to want, I am a person. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, I thought I was showing love, I thought that was what you wanted. Well, it's not, I said, I sounded mean, I felt mean, but I also felt right. He nodded. He looked at the floor. He said, okay, I hear you. Then he went back to the couch. He did not touch me for the rest of the night. He did not touch me the next day. I thought, good, he is finally getting it. The first week was fine. He was careful around me. He gave me space. He asked before he hugged me. He asked if it was okay to kiss me goodbye before work. I said yes to the kiss because I did not want to be cruel, but it was a quick peck, no feeling in it, just lips touching like we were friends. I noticed he stopped looking at me. Like really looking. His eyes would go to my face and then move away fast. He stopped complimenting me. He stopped grabbing my hand when we walked. He stopped pulling me close. At first I was relieved. I could breathe. I could move around the apartment without feeling watched. I could wear sweatpants and not worry if he was noticing how my butt looked in them. I could exist as a person, not as an object. But then I started to notice other things. He stopped asking about my day. He stopped making coffee for me on Saturdays. He stopped laughing at my jokes. He was still polite. He still said please and thank you. He still did his dishes. But the warmth was gone. The looking was gone. The wanting was gone. I told myself this was temporary. He was adjusting. He was learning. This was the hard part before the good part. Soon he would learn how to love me without turning me into a body. Soon we would be better. But the days turned into weeks. 3 weeks in, I made a move. I was the one who initiated. I kissed him. I put my hand on his chest. I wanted to show him that it was okay sometimes, that I still wanted him too. He froze. He let me kiss him. He did not kiss back. Then he gently took my hands off his chest and held them between his own. He looked at me with the saddest eyes I have ever seen. He said, Maya, I don't want to make you feel like just a body. I said, it's okay. I want to. He shook his head. No, you were very clear. I'm not going to do that to you. He let go of my hands. He went to bed. He fell asleep, turned away from me. I lay awake all night staring at his back. I wanted to scream. I wanted to shake him and say, this is not what I meant. But I could not because this was exactly what I meant. I had said the words. I had told him he sexualized me too much. And now he had stopped. The second month was worse. He stopped sleeping in our bed. He said the couch was better for his back. I knew that was a lie. He did not want to be near me. He did not want to risk touching me while he slept. He did not want to risk wanting me. I tried to talk to him. I sat him down on a Saturday morning. I said, Jake, I miss you. He looked at me. He looked tired. He said, I'm right here. I miss how we were, I said. He did not say anything for a long time. Then he said, I'm giving you what you asked for. But this is too much, I said. I could hear my own voice sounding small and whiny. He just looked at me. He did not argue. He did not get mad. He just looked at me with eyes that were empty of the thing I used to see there. I started to panic. I started to do things to get a reaction. I wore a low-cut shirt to dinner. He looked at his plate. I bent over to pick something up near him. He walked away. I accidentally walked out of the bathroom without a towel. He closed the door and said, sorry, didn't mean to barge in. The more he did nothing, the more desperate I became. I wanted any sign that he still saw me, that he still wanted me, that I was still wanted. I called Sarah. I told her everything. I said, he won't touch me at all now. She was quiet. Then she said, Maya, you told him he sexualized you too much. But this is different. I said, is it? She said, yes, I wanted him to want me less, not to stop wanting me completely. Sarah sighed. Did you tell him that part? I opened my mouth. Then I closed it, because I had not. I had not said that part at all. I had only said the first part, the part about too much, the part about sexualizing. I had not said, I still want you to want me just differently. I had not said, I still need you to touch me sometimes. I had not said any of that because at the time I did not think I needed to. I thought he would just know. I thought he would read between the lines. After I hung up with Sarah, I cried. I cried because I realized I had done this. I had made the rules and he was following them perfectly, and I hated the rules now, but I could not take them back because they were my rules. The third month I tried to fix it. I initiated again. This time I was more clear. I said, Jake, I want to be close to you. I miss being close. He looked at me. He said, Maya, I'm trying to respect you. I know, I said, but maybe we can find a middle place. He shook his head. I don't know where that is. You told me I make you feel like a body. I don't want to do that, ever again. I could hear the hurt in his voice. It was quiet, but it was deep. It was a hurt I had put there with my words. I said, I was just stressed. I didn't mean it like that. He stood up. He went to the window. He looked out at the street. He said, you said you feel like I don't see you. You said I only see a body to touch. That is what you said. That is what I heard. I could not answer, because I had said that. I had said those exact words. And I had meant them when I said them. I had meant them with all the anger and frustration that had been building in me for months. He turned back to me. His eyes were wet. Do you know what it is like to be told that your love feels like an attack, that wanting your partner feels like violence? I had not thought of it like that. I had not thought of his desire as love. I had thought of it as hunger, as need, as something that took from me. But seeing his face, I saw that for him, it was love. It was how he showed love. It was how he stayed close, and I had told him it was wrong. The fourth month I stopped trying to fix it. I was too scared. Every time I opened my mouth I seemed to make it worse, so I just lived in the silence. I came home from work. He came home from work. We ate dinner across from each other like two people who worked in the same office. We watched TV with a foot of space between us on the couch. He slept on the couch. I slept in the bed. I started to feel invisible. I started to feel like a ghost in my own home. I would walk past him and he would not look up. I would say something funny and he would not laugh. I would ask him a question and he would answer in the shortest possible way. One night I heard him on the phone with his brother. He did not know I was in the hallway. He said, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to do the right thing. She said my touch made her feel like an object, so I stopped touching. Now she says I'm cold. I can't win. His brother said something I could not hear. Jake said, I love her, but I don't know how to love her without wanting her, and apparently wanting her is the problem. I stood in the hallway and I felt my heart break. Not for me, for him. For the first time I heard what he was going through. I heard the confusion, the pain, the feeling of being trapped by my words. I went back to the bedroom. I sat on the bed. I thought about what I had done. I had told him his love was wrong. I had told him his desire was wrong, and he had listened. He had believed me, and now he was trying to love me in a way that did not exist. He was trying to be a person without desire because I had told him desire was bad. The fifth month I found out he was talking to someone else. Not dating, just talking. Her name is Emma. She works with his friend. I saw her name on his phone when it lit up on the coffee table. I asked him who she was. He said, just a friend. I said, why is she texting you? He said, because I can talk to her without feeling like I'm doing something wrong. The words hit me like a slap. I said, what does that mean? He looked at me. He looked tired. He looked done. He said, Maya, I spent 4 years wanting you, admiring you, thinking you were beautiful, touching you because I loved you. And you told me that was wrong. You told me I was sexualizing you, so I stopped. And now you want me to want you again, but you never told me how to do it right. You just told me how to do it wrong. So I'm done trying. I'm done wanting. I'm done being the bad guy for loving you the way I knew how. I started to cry. I said, Jake, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I was just stressed. He held up his hand. He said, I know you're sorry, but sorry does not fix it. I can't unhear what you said. I can't unfeel the shame. Every time I look at you now, I hear your voice saying, you only see a body. And I don't want to be that person, but I also don't know how to be anyone else with you. That night he packed a bag. He said he was going to stay with his friend for a few days. He said he needed to think about if this could be fixed. I begged him not to go. I said, Jake, I'll do anything. Just tell me what to do. He stopped at the door. He said, you can't fix this by doing something. You fix this by taking back what you said. And you can't take it back. It's been 6 months. It's who we are now. Then he left. The 6th month he came back once only to get the rest of his things. I had cleaned the apartment. I had made dinner. I had bought candles. I was trying to show him I could be what he wanted. I did not know what that was, but I was trying. He walked in. He saw the candles. He saw the table set for 2. He looked at me. He said, Maya, please don't. I said, I miss you. He said, I miss you too, but I miss the old you, the one who let me love her, the one who did not make me feel like a predator for wanting her. That version of you is gone, and I don't know how to love this version. I said, I'm the same person. He shook his head. No, the same person would not have said what you said. The same person would not have let 6 months go by without trying to really fix it. The same person would have apologized the next day, not 6 months later when I'm already gone. I wanted to argue. I wanted to say I did try. I tried to initiate. I tried to talk. But he was right. I waited 6 months. I let him carry the weight of my words for 6 months while I felt sorry for myself. I made him the villain for doing exactly what I asked. He packed his clothes. He packed his toothbrush. He packed his books. He left the coffee maker because he knew I loved it. He left the photos of us on the wall. He left the life we built. At the door he turned to me. He said, I hope you find someone who loves you the way you want to be loved. I really do. I just couldn't be that person for you. I tried, but you told me my way was wrong, and I believed you. Then he was gone. The day after he moved out, I called Sarah. I told her he left. I thought she would comfort me. She did not. She said, Maya, I love you, but you need to hear this. You weaponized your own discomfort. You took a good man who loved you and you made him feel like he was hurting you. And when he stopped, you punished him for that too. You never told him what you actually wanted. You just told him what was wrong. That is not fair. I said, but he took it too far. He went from one extreme to the other. Sarah laughed a little. No, honey, you set a boundary. He respected it. He respected it so perfectly that it destroyed your relationship. That is not him taking it too far. That is you not knowing what you were asking for. I hung up on her. I was angry, but the anger did not last, because deep down I knew she was right. I spent the next week alone in the apartment. I looked at the photos on the wall, photos of us on vacation, photos of us at Christmas. In every photo, Jake is looking at me, not at the camera, at me, with that look. The look I told him was wrong. I started to see it differently now. I started to see that his desire was not him taking from me. It was him giving. It was him saying, you are beautiful to me, you are wanted, you are loved, and I had thrown it back in his face. I had told him that his love felt like an objectification. I had told him that the way he showed love was wrong. I had not given him a new way, I had just taken away the old way. Last night I saw him. I went to the grocery store. He was there with Emma, not touching. Just standing near each other in the produce section, laughing about something. She picked up an orange and tossed it to him. He caught it. He laughed. He looked relaxed. He looked like the old Jake, the one who could laugh without thinking about it. I hid behind a cereal display. I watched them. They were not a couple. I could tell. They were just two people who enjoyed each other. They were easy. They were light. Jake had never been light with me after that night. He had been heavy. He had been careful. He had been a man walking on glass. I drove home. I cried in the car. I cried because I saw what I had taken from him. I had taken his ease. I had taken his joy. I had taken his natural way of being and I had made it something shameful. When I got home, I took the photos down. I put them in a box. I could not look at them anymore. They did not show a happy couple. They showed a man who loved a woman, and a woman who did not know what love looked like until it was gone. Today my sister called me. She said, Jake texted me. He asked me to check on you. He said he is worried you are not eating. I said he texted you. He cares about you, Maya. He always did. That is the point you keep missing. I said, what do I do? She was quiet. Then she said, you let him go. You learn from this. You figure out why you could not accept love in the form it was given. You figure out why you needed to control how someone desired you. And you hope that the next time you don't make the same mistake. I said, but I love him. Then you should have loved him enough to let him be himself. Instead, you loved yourself so much that you made him into a villain for having normal feelings for his girlfriend. Her words were hard. They were true. I did not want them to be true, but they were. I hung up the phone. I looked around the empty apartment. I thought about the last 6 months. I thought about what I had wanted. I had wanted to feel like a person. I had wanted to feel respected. I had wanted to feel like more than a body, and now I felt nothing. I felt invisible. I felt alone. I felt like a body without any eyes on it at all. The irony is so thick I could choke on it. I told him to stop seeing me as a body. And now I am just a ghost. I keep thinking about what I could have said instead. I could have said, Jake, I am stressed from work and I need some days where we just cuddle. I could have said, Jake, I love your desire, but sometimes I need to feel like you see my mind too. I could have said, Jake, I am struggling with my body right now and I need you to be gentle. But I did not say those things. I said, you sexualize me too much. I made it his fault. I made his love into a crime. And he believed me. He believed me so completely that he erased that part of himself. He erased the part that looked at me with hunger. He erased the part that reached for me without thinking. He erased the part that made me feel wanted. I got what I asked for. I got a man who treated me like a roommate. I got a man who looked through me. I got a man who did not want me at all. And I am the bad guy, because I am. I am the bad guy who thought she was the victim. I am the bad guy who took a good thing and called it bad. I am the bad guy who is now sitting in an empty apartment, crying over a man I told to stop loving me the way he knew how. I want to text him. I want to say, I was wrong. Please come back, please want me again. But I know he won't. Because he tried for 6 months to be what I wanted and it broke him. And now he is building himself back up without me. I hope Emma knows what she has. I hope she sees that look in his eyes and she does not call it sexualizing. I hope she calls it love. I hope she calls it beautiful. I hope she calls it home. I sit here now and I think about what I learned. I learned that boundaries are important, but they need to be clear. They need to be kind. They need to leave room for the other person to still be a person. I learned that desire is not the same as objectification, that wanting someone can be a form of worship, that his hands on my waist were not chains, they were anchors. They were keeping me from floating away, and I cut them. I learned that when you tell someone they are hurting you, they might stop. They might stop so completely that you realize you weren't being hurt at all. You were being held. I learned that 6 months is a long time to live without touch. It is a long time to live without being seen. It is a long time to realize that you were the one who turned off the lights. I am not going to text him. I am going to let him be happy. I am going to let him laugh in the grocery store with someone who does not make him feel ashamed for being a man who loves a woman. And me, I am going to sit in this quiet apartment. I am going to learn to be comfortable being alone. I am going to learn to forgive myself for being so broken that I broke the one thing that was trying to fix me. But I am also going to stay a little bit angry. Not at him. At myself. At the world that taught me that being wanted was the same as being used. At my job that made me feel like being looked at was a threat. At myself for not knowing the difference between being seen and being consumed. Mostly, I am angry that I did not see it sooner. That I let 6 months go by while I waited for him to read my mind. That I played games with my body and his heart, that I made him feel like a villain when he was always the hero. I am the bad guy, and I deserve to be. And that is the hardest part. The knowing that I did this, the knowing that I cannot undo it, the knowing that I will probably do it again because I still don't fully understand where the line is between wanting and taking, between being seen and being used. I am trying. I am sitting here writing this all down so I can see it, so I can read it and say, this is what you did. This is who you were. Don't be that person again. But I am also crying because I miss him. I miss his hands. I miss his eyes on me. I miss feeling like I was the most beautiful thing in his world. I wanted him to see me as a person. But I forgot that a person who loves you shows it through touch, through looks, through wanting. I asked him to stop being a person with me, and he did. Now I am just a person alone and I don't feel like a person at all. I feel like a lesson. A cautionary tale. A story other people will tell so they don't become me. I said he sexualizes me too much. Now he has not initiated anything for 6 months. And I am the bad guy. I really am, and that is the truth of it. The whole ugly, stupid, heartbreaking truth.